Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Super Lunch Bros Podcast, episode number 154. I am Brendan. Bellator 283, Douglas Lima versus Jason Jackson. We are going to cover the main card here. I am not going to go over the prelims. Just trying to get this one out there. Honestly, a really fast card, and I still have my problems with Bellator. I am not appreciative of the way that how difficult they make it to watch their stuff. I really don't. I hate it. It drives me nuts. I can't stand it. Anyway, before we get started, if you would like and subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate it. So if you like MMA, if you like podcasts about MMA, if you like Bellator, UFC, 1FC, PFL, I cover all that stuff on this channel. I go over fight by fight, round by round. I usually give my take on those things. So if you're interested in that stuff, subscribe to the channel so you know when the next video is coming out. And if you like this video, click the like button. I super appreciate it. All right, let's do this. Okay. All right, main event. We had Douglas Lima taking on Jason Jackson. So Douglas Lima coming off of 3 losses in a row and just not getting the decision here. So Jason Jackson taking the win via decision. We can break it down round by round, but once we break down one, you're going to notice a bit of a repeating pattern here. Douglas Lima, he's known for his kicks. He's known for his that's pretty much it. His kicks, his low kicks especially. Lots of low kicks. And it's unfortunate because, he has the loss to Musayev, who took him down in ground pound, to Musayev, who took him down, and then Michael Page, which was a split decision loss. And that one happened in London, and I'm pretty sure Michael Page got the hometown favoritism when it came to that scoring. So I don't actually count this one too much as a loss. I have that for Douglas Lima, so that's unfortunate, but it is on his record as a loss. And, Jason Jackson, he was ranked number 4 before this weekend, and Douglas Lima is ranked number 3, so as far as the rankings go in Bellator, it's pretty close. But unfortunately, Lima just didn't do enough. He just didn't do enough to get the win here. He couldn't stop a takedown to save his life. Jackson took him down and held him for over 2 minutes in the first round and landed enough damage on the feet to keep it even as far as damage goes, so that first round went to him, no problem. Second round, he held him down the whole time. There was one little moment where Douglas Lima almost landed kind of an up kick, and it looked like Jackson kind of got rocked a little bit. He didn't, but maybe the judges saw that. It doesn't matter. I had him losing that, Jackson winning that round too. I had him doing the exact same thing in the 3rd round, 4th round, and 5th round. I gave all 5 rounds to Jackson, 50-45, easy peasy. In fact, if you want to give it a 10-8 because Lima gave no offense in return, I am okay with that. I would rather go with 10-9s in all those rounds because there wasn't a lot of damage from Jackson. There was a lot of sitting there and holding position and dominating, but not a lot of damage given out. I don't know if he could have. I think he could have done more. He could have gone for the finish at some point. I would have liked to have seen that. That would have been a lot more interesting than what we did see. And, with his nickname of the ass-kicking machine, more like the take down and hold you there machine today. I know it's an effective way to win. It's the known path to victory versus Douglas Lima, and I'm okay with it. I hold no grudges against winning that way, especially when you go in there and you clearly see that was your strategy. He didn't just hold on to him and try to let's see. He wasn't holding him down, panicking, wrestling, and unable to control. No, he went in there and he controlled Douglas Lima from minute 1. Well, actually, minute 3 till the 25th minute of that fight. All 5 rounds he controlled completely. So he's got the win over Paul Daly, Neiman Gracie, Benson Henderson, Jordan Meehan, and Kichi Kunamoto. So, and the loss to Ed Ruth, but Ed Ruth is a really good fighter, so there's that. He's doing really well. He's got, we just went over, he's got 6 wins in a row. I can't imagine him fighting for anything less than the belt, and I don't know if I favor him in that, but I like his chances. He's a very good fighter. He's very strong. He has good cardio. He was able to hold him there the whole time, hold him down, keep up with him, and dominate him the whole time. So, again, I don't begrudge him. At all for winning this way. We all know how to beat Douglas Lima. And this is it. if you want to stand there and trade with him, you're going to risk losing or winning barely by split decision when it comes, like in his last fight versus Michael Venom Page. Take the safe path. Take him down. Ground and pound him out. And he didn't do a ton of ground and pound, but he did hold him there. So good win for him, and that's the end of that one. So co-main event here was Sydney Outlaw versus Tofik Musayev. This fight ended real fast. 27 seconds into the first round, Outlaw got caught by a right hand, and then another one put him down and kind of out. He got up, and he was protesting the stoppage, and maybe you could say that he wasn't completely out, or he could have taken one more punch. And you know me, if you've watched me before, you know that I'm always in favor of just a definitive end, right? One final blow that lets us know that this one's over. The fighter does not want to get up or can't get up, and even when he does, he's clearly out. He has accepted defeat. Outlaw did not, so there is something to be said for that, and maybe you could say it was an early stoppage. I'm not. I think he got knocked out pretty cleanly as far as I'm concerned. So that's the end of that one. Now, let's talk about Usman Nurmagomedov. What a freaking beast this guy is. He's 15-0 now. He defeated Chris Gonzales, and they got in some grappling exchanges early. A little bit of striking, in which Usman is known for, unlike his unlike Khabib. He is known for his striking. He has very good kicks, just like Khabib's other cousin. Oh, poop. He just fought last weekend. But anyway, Usman did a great job here. He kept it at distance when he needed to. He freaking threw up some high kicks, and then in the grappling exchanges, which weren't completely one. So there was only one real long. It turned into one exchange, right? But it wasn't so dominated by him immediately where you're like, oh, Gonzales is overwhelmed here. It was more like Nurmagomedov just knew just a little bit more, and he did just a little bit more. Not that Gonzales isn't a good wrestler in his own right or couldn't wrestle with him if they wanted to or anything like that. It's just the way this turned out during an exchange. Gonzales didn't protect his neck. Nurmagomedov locked in a choke and got the choke from a standing position. Beautiful finish. Great. This guy's a monster. I'd love to see him instead of Bellator, fighting where nobody knows who he is or knows when he fights. Let's get him over to the UFC and get him, or even the PFL, and get him some notoriety and some star power, so we can, not only cash in on his name, but let's see him against some more difficult opponents. I could say game opponents, if you want to put it that way. All right, Lorenz Larkin versus Muhammad Brahimov. Okay. This fight was weird. Muhammad got a takedown early. Right, he got the takedown, and then Larkin worked his way back to the feet, and then he was wall walking, got up against the cage, and started throwing down. Well, I was about to say throwing downward elbows, but it was a downward elbow. Right, so he threw one elbow, which is often a defensive technique. They call them the Travis Brown elbows because that's how he finished. Oh, good grief! The first heavyweight champion in. Oh man, or the youngest heavyweight champion in the UFC history. Oh my God, the War Master. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name. Anyway. Lorenz Larkin threw one elbow. It landed to the back of the head, which is illegal. I went on a tirade/rant multiple weeks in a row, including last week, about hits to the back of the head. And, this is what happens. It was a no contest because Brahimov said, I can't get up. And he said the room was spinning. That happens. It happened to GSP when he fought Bisping. Bisping landed a shot to the back of the head of him in transition when they're on the ground, and GSP lost his balance, and he was actually, he talked about it after the fight. I think it was on Rogan's podcast. He talked about it, and he said, yeah, like I was out of it, and I felt like I couldn't get my balance, and it took him a while to recover from that. And that wasn't even as hard as this one from Larkin. So do I think that Muhammad played it up here or made it out to be worse than it was? Not necessarily. I don't, again, just like in the main event as far as the strategy to beat Douglas Lima, I am not begrudging Muhammad for not wanting to continue after an illegal blow was struck. Okay, this is what happens. And because it was a no contest, I am very happy with this decision. I am happy with the outcome. Everything was great. It's not as satisfactory as a definitive win, obviously. Obviously, that's not good. Like, we want the fight to end. We want a guy to win. We want it to be fair, all those things. But when a rule is broken and it wasn't intentional, right? The effect is the same. But the intent can determine whether or not it's a no contest or a DQ. And I'm glad that they went this route. I'm glad that it was it wasn't a disqualification. I think it's completely justified. So Larkin, dude, oh wow. Larkin has not lost since Paul Daly back in 2017. And dude's a beast. And yeah, he beat Kreshkov. Close fight, but he beat him. Cavallo, Kyle Stewart, I remember that one. Yeah, man, when he left the UFC after just smoking Neil Magny, yeah, I had high hopes for him. And I don't think he's a bad fighter. I think there are, just like I said, I've said multiple times, I think everybody has said this. I don't think this is news. In Bellator, the upper echelon, the top 5 guys in any division in Bellator can compete with the top 5 in a lot of other, a lot of other organizations, including the UFC. Does it mean they'll all beat them? Not necessarily. It's the depth of the divisions that's different about the UFC. They have much more depth. 1 through 15 is a challenge, whereas in Bellator, depending on the division, we're looking at like 1 through 5, the top 3 being a challenge, maybe only the champion being a really good fighter, and it's hard to even judge that because of the level of competition that he's taking on in Bellator. So Larkin, he's 24-7. I don't know, man. I think throw him in there. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus Lima. Lima coming off that loss and Larkin being able to rectify and kind of get some revenge on that one. Lima isn't as good as he has been in the past, so Larkin can get that name back on his record in the win column and move forward in the division. So maybe he'll get a title shot after that. I think Jason Jackson would have something to say about Larkin's wrestling. So I don't know if that's going to be any good. But yeah, man. Larkin's really... Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing is Larkin's fighting at he fights at 170 and 185, but I wouldn't mind seeing him stay more at 170. I think he's able to deal with the strength of his opponents there much better. They are not, generally speaking, not as strong as 185ers. Cool. And then the first fight on the main card here, Marcelo Golm versus Davion Franklin. Interesting fight. Franklin fighting out of Chicago. Franklin fighting out of Chicago here. No, my bad. He's from Chicago, but he's fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, out of Jackson Wink. So that's cool. I'm sure he wrestles here with Izzy Martinez. For those of you guys who know more about that story, you can look into it, how that has affected many careers and people's interactions with certain substances. Anyway, what happened in this fight was Franklin landed like some really heavy leg kicks early on. Golm started going for takedowns, and then amidst Golm's attempt to take Franklin down, Franklin lifted him up and slammed him. And then Golm went for another takedown. Franklin picked him up and slammed him. It was interesting, and then Franklin looked super tired after that. Golm started to press him. I gave the damage to Franklin in the first round because of those slams, and also he landed really heavy leg kicks. He did the more damaging shots, so I gave him that first round 10-9. Second round, Golm was pressing forward, and Franklin was exhausted. Though there was through a series of flops, Franklin landed on top and did some damage near the end of the round. And I felt like he landed enough punches and or enough big shots to get him that second round too. I actually had him up frickin' 2-0. I had him up 2018. So we're going into this last round here. Franklin looks so tired. At one point, they got separated from the cage because Golm kept pushing forward and doing the clinch and the grappling against the cage, and the referee didn't see enough action, so he went to go separate them, and Franklin didn't leave the cage. He was so freaking tired. He wasn't even on the ground. He just was so exhausted. He wouldn't even bring his hands up. He was still throwing, freaking haymakers and bombs trying to end Golm's night. It's just he got so tired, couldn't do anything, ends up getting kind of floppy, taken down to the ground, and Golm gets a rear naked choke and finishes him with only 24 seconds left in the fight. So really impressive for Golm to stay in there and kind of put it on Franklin. I think this is going to be a good learning experience for Franklin because he was 5-0 coming into this fight. So this is his first career professional loss. And, going back to Jackson Wink, knowing what it feels like to be that tired and how it saps your ability to defend yourself. And, fatigue makes cowards of us all those cliches and that kind of thing. Cardio is king. It really is. There's a lot of things you can get away with in MMA. A lot of things. Right? Bad jiu-jitsu, you can get away with that. Bad wrestling, you can kind of get away with that too. Bad striking, you can definitely get away with that. Bad cardio, it catches up to you, man. It does. No matter how quick you can end these fights, eventually it's going to catch up to you. You're going to pay. You're going to pay. If you guys hear that, that is rain. That was it. That was it for the main card. I'm not going over the Bellator prelims. The next video you'll see will be the main card of the UFC. Curtis Blades taking on Tom Aspinall. If you know me, you know I am a huge Blades fan, so I'll be rooting for him regardless of how I feel about how that fight will go. So, thank you guys for watching this. It means a lot to me. Even checking out something like Bellator here, I appreciate it. I know Bellator is hard to watch, and if you're coming here to hear what happened and get a little bit of a breakdown before you watch the stuff, cool. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. It does. If you do like MMA, like I said at the top, just subscribe to the channel because everything I do, you're going to like. I mean it. If you made it this far into the video, you're going to like the stuff that I put up. So I put up UFC, PFL, Bellator, ONE FC sometimes, all that stuff. I cover all the fights on those. In those organizations. And if this is the only one that you're watching this week or this weekend, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. If you want to check out the UFC ones, they're in the next ones. But if you don't, have a great week, and I love y'all.